All right, chat. So this morning, I was informed that the Florida All-State requirements came out today. So I wanted to kind of poke through them, look at them a little bit, and get my first reactions. I think this is a fun first step into the summer All-State videos. For those of you who don't know, I do record every single etude for all of the low brass every summer. So this is a good way for us to kind of look into it. But there have been some minor changes first. If we look here, it appears that some of the ranges have changed or have been adjusted. So let's look here. So euphonium, so this is middle school now. So now trombone and euphonium can play a low E flat, and same goes for tuba up to the C, up to the C. Essentially, if you have a trigger trombone or if you have a 4-valve euphonium, you have a leg up in making All-State. I don't like this change for the middle school. Why I liked the register changes, the first reason was with middle school, it made it so just because you didn't happen to own an intermediate or a professional instrument didn't necessarily mean you weren't gonna make All-State. But with this as the case, if you don't have a 4th valve, you're gonna have 5 less point opportunities than somebody else. I also don't know too many middle schoolers are gonna be playing a C, but they could go for it if they wanted to. I don't remember what the top peak one was, but it's mostly that low F that's kind of the concerning part. But the other thing is, I thought the bands were flat out better at All-State. I thought they were better than they had been. You didn't have a bunch of solid musicians who could play scales really well and then really rock out on the etudes. I thought that you were getting the more qualified musicians, not necessarily just the people who could crush 3-octave scales really freaking fast. Because keep in mind, when we judge, there is a little bit of a tone quality subjectiveness to it, but for the most part, if you play a 3-octave scale, you're gonna get a 12 or a 13 if you successfully do it up and down. Bare minimum, and not to say how well you do it. This is kind of disappointing to see right here. I'm not a big fan of that. Let's look at the actual etude. All right, and both of them are from Rubik Advanced 1. So let's pull that up really quick. Oh, this one's been it before. Yeah, this actually might have been one of the first ones I recorded. Dee da da dee da 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 da. And where do we stop? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just these first 2 lines. Solid. That's a great one. That's a really good one. I'm happy about that. I think I only have 2 middle school trombone euphoniums this year, so I don't have many going for this, but that's not the worst. And then let's look at the technical. Yep, I've coached this one before too. This one's not too bad. Looks like E flat is the highest note where they want us to stop at. All of it. Okay, that's not bad. What, 4 lines of music, no repeats? The weird thing is just kind of what do we do with this fermata here? Because what tempo do they want it? That might be the hard part, is the tempo that they want it at. Sometimes they'll get you with that. It won't be the hardest etude, but then they'll throw a really rough tempo for you. Okay, yeah, no, it's fine. It is a little bit of a rapid articulation for a middle school level, but it's not the worst thing. All right, let's move on to middle school tuba, which I gotta go into a different file for. Yep, do they want it the same tempo too? 88. Oh, they want it a little bit slower. 64 number 7, 64 7. They want it a little bit slower. It's honestly a good range. So far, this is going really well for middle school. Yeah, I mean, of all the etudes, they're sitting fine. Got an F. That's the highest thing we've got here. That's not the worst thing in the world. I've seen G's and A flats in the middle school state etude before. So I'm not too upset about it. I'm not too worried about middle school. Let's move on. Let's move on to symphonic or concert band. Has their registers changed? Bass trombone can now go down to B flat, A flat, and then we just got a B flat there. Trombone euphoniums, D flat to D flat. Tuba's all the way up to an F above the staff. And then what we got down there? B flat, A, G, F, E flat. So we got an E flat down here, right? So it's interesting. They're not moving in equal amounts between the euphonium and the tuba. You would think euphonium and tuba would just be the same, but octaves of each other. So that means that you can technically play in 10th grade or 9th grade. You can technically do a 3-octave D flat scale, right? 1, 2, yeah, 3, yeah. I don't see how many people are going to be doing that. I also don't see a lot of people successfully doing the low D flat without a compensating instrument. You can. It's going to sound rough. Let's look at the etudes. Okay, now we get to separate trombone and euphonium. So for trombone, we're in the row shoe now. So let's get over into that. Oh, it's just number 5. You just Bordoni 5. Dee-da, dee-dee-da. Yeah, one you should do anyway. Yeah, that's great. That's an awesome one. And let's see where they stop y'all at. Okay, right here. That's not bad. Dee da 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 dee da 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 ba da 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 dee dee. I remember working on this one. Yeah, we've got to be on 2019. And then for technical A flat major, one of my favorites. It's one of the best. And then I go and mess it up. That's cool. I'm glad they're bringing that back. In 2022, I left this, and so was the euphonium one. Is this not the A flat major? So we're doing the same one we did 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 3 auditions ago now. But yeah, not bad there. So do they both have the same? Trombone, euphonium, lyrical page 8 to page 14. Yeah. Why separate it then? I also love they do give the same exercises in treble clef to the treble clef middle school, and then once you get to high school, they're like, figure it out, kid. Also, you can buy both these books in treble clef. All right, and then what do we got with our good friends, the Oompampas? Tubas, what are we doing here? 35, number 11. Chat. What does this say? How can they keep missing this? And they don't do it just one time. They do it twice with the E flat bass only. So for 9-10 tuba, they're asking them to play etudes that were written with the intent of being played on a bass tuba. So for those of you who don't know, or aren't tuba folks, this is an E flat tuba. It is significantly smaller than a B flat or a C tuba. It is not a contrabass tuba. So then you look at these etudes that they have to play, and so these students on these big horns, now these aren't the most egregious examples, but they're sitting inside the staff. None of the music they're gonna play in the ensemble at Allstate, none of the music they're gonna play is this at all. It's not gonna be in this register, maybe a little bit, but it's not gonna stay up here like this. You're not gonna be playing A flats and B flats constantly, or going up into here, right? And what do we got here? You inside the staff. This one's a little bit better. It's not quite as egregious, but it's still like, why can they not? That's not good. That's not good, especially when you have an etude right here that just says B flat bass. I don't get it. I don't get it. And you're also not going to get your best sounding tubas because most of them are just going to be struggling to play some of these notes. We got by on middle school just fine. I was hopeful. Yeah, somebody needs to have a conversation with them. I'm not in the FBA. I don't know. I help, but I don't know. Last one. All right, so there, euphonium, we do have a pedal B flat all the way up. I'm just getting old. What do we got here? So we do have a pedal B flat. Tuba also has a pedal B flat to F. I would assume this is also an F. So they've made it so 3 octave scales are on the table for 11, 12. Now this one, trombone will be different. Lyrical, page 58. That's good. I think they ended here. Oh no, they ended it on the F before. I've got comments on this one. 2020 and 2022. This one just keeps coming back. And then with the Vixmin, we're doing page 33. All right, I don't have a comment on this one. That doesn't mean we didn't do it, but... Oh, no. Dude, this one's from 2018, 2019? This one sucks. I'm sorry, trombones. It's bad. Bad key. This one's hard. I'm not gonna lie to you all. This is probably the etude I'm gonna have to practice the most. Where'd it go? Get back here. Bad key. Start out with a E flat minor arpeggio. I do not look forward to re-recording this. The good thing is it's not as slidey as it looks. There's a lot of notes and everything, but there's not necessarily as much going on as it looks. It's very just articulate, and then the partials are the hard thing. And keeping time, that's the big thing there. I salute you, our slide brothers. Euphonium, what do we got here? Lyrical 37, number 26. I wonder who I stole this PDF off of. Which one's this one? Oh, this is a great one. This one's awesome. This is great. This is great. Yeah, much better than having to deal with. Yeah, I don't envy you all on that one. All right, and then what's the technical for euphoniums? Page 20. I don't know if I know this one. This one doesn't look familiar. I don't think I've ever played this one. Or if I did, it was in like college. Sweet. It looks good. Where do we stop? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. Yeah. Not bad. It's got some stuff. Got some things you got to get going, but not terrible. All right. And then the technical exercise, page 23, 22. And I think it said stop on B3. Yeah, that makes sense. So stop on the B natural. Okay. They love intervals for tuba players. So you have a big old F, G, A. So what, a 10th or 9th jump or whatever? Right here. Oh, I don't look forward to having to practice this. This is an interval game. This is a play really slow, learn how everything goes type of a thing. A lot of dynamics and a lot of like really fast dynamics. Yeah, there's a lot of scary there. That's for sure. That's for sure. So those are my impressions of all of the All-State ones. We've learned that some of the selections for this, we don't know what a E flat tuba is. And we don't know that that's not a fair thing to give B-flat tubas. Most of your students are playing B-flat tubas, and most of them are not going to be having a bass tuba in their audition. And if they do, they have a wildly unfair advantage. So, yeah. I think both 9, 10, and 11, 12 tubas have it the hardest, though I'm not really excited about the 11, 12 trombone technical etude either. Euphonium's got off scot-free. You guys have a great etudes. No complaints. Now the problem is when you have easier etudes, there's no sucking. You have to just be good at them and all that sort of thing. So my big takeaways are Euphonium's got off pretty easy. You guys have pretty easy etudes, all things considered. The committees that pick these etudes probably don't understand that the E flat stuff on tuba is unfair. Then also trombone technical, 11, 12 technical, that's probably going to be the tough etude in the trombone set of lists. And then tuba 11, 12 is also just, I think, a little bit unfair hard. It's not hard because it's like you got to learn a bunch of fingerings and stuff like that. It's the partials and the jumping where you're jumping octaves constantly and all that sort of a thing. That's the hard part inside of that. So yeah, I think 11, 12 tubas definitely win the medal for hardest etudes in their bracket. That's for sure. And the They definitely have opened it up to where, especially in 11-12, that 3-octave scales are on the table. So I wonder what that means for the quality of the ensembles. Again, I thought the ensembles last year were really good, and it wasn't filled with just a bunch of people who can play a bunch of 3-octave scales really well. And keep in mind, there's been when I've judged, my two favorite etude people did not make the band before they made the change and adjusted the registers. So we'll see. But yeah, I think that's all I've got for this today. Thank you for watching the video. I'd like to take a moment and thank my Patreon patrons, Kevin and Richard. Thank you so much for helping out the channel. If you are interested in becoming a patron, consider going to the link in the description down below to see what extra benefits there are and possibly consider joining up. Thank you again to my patrons for supporting, and we'll see you in the next one.